Shana Tova, Good Yontif, Happy New Year to all of you near and far. Welcome to our congregation Beth Shalom Rosh HaShanah service. I'm Niles Goldstein, the rabbi of CBS, and our music director is Gordon Lustig, and we will be guiding you through these very unusual days of awe. As I think everybody knows, the year in between last year's Rosh Hashanah and this year's Rosh Hashanah has been very, very challenging for all of us. And as we kick off the Rosh Hashanah service for 2020, or 5,781, according to the Jewish calendar, these services will obviously be a little bit different. They will be shorter than you're used to. Hopefully they will be more creative than maybe you're used to. And we hope that we can engage you in whatever way we're able to, whether you are here with us in Napa or somewhere else around the country, or maybe even around the world. So welcome to all of you, our members, our friends, our family, as we begin this year's service. And we are going to begin our service with the lighting of our Shabbat and Rosh Hashanah candles on page 11 in your prayer book.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvah tov, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov. Amen.
Amen.
Happy Rosh Hashanah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Shabbat Shalom and Good Yontif. We continue on page 17. Here I am, so poor in deeds, I tremble in fear, overwhelmed and apprehensive before you, to whom Israel sings praise. Although unworthy, I rise to pray and seek favor for your people Israel, for they have entrusted me with this task. Therefore, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, Adonai, Adonai, merciful, gracious God, who inspires awe, I pray to you for success on my path. I pray for myself and my community. Do not hold them responsible for my wrongs and offenses. May my deeds cause them no shame, and may their deeds cause me no shame. We continue on page 20 with our call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Page 22. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your great name fills the universe with majestic might. Your word creates twilight and dusk, as your wisdom opens the gates of night. Your discernment separates the changing seasons and causes the passage of time. The stars arrayed across the sky reveal your design. You roll out the cycle of darkness and light, shaping day and night. You sweep away day and carry the world into nightfall, setting day apart from nighttime. You are God of all we can perceive and all that is beyond our perception. Living, eternal God, be our sovereign to the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of twilight and dusk. And we continue now with Ahavat Olam on page 24.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Amcha Ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shofteinu, Kumeinu nasiach bechuchecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, be'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla, ki ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael.
We continue now on page 26 with the central affirmation of the Jewish faith, the Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto Leolam, Leolam Va'ed. You shall love Adonai, you shall love Adonai, you shall love Adonai, your God, with all your mind, with all your strength, with all your being, with all your being. Set these words, which I command you this day, upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. You shall love Adonai. You shall love Adonai. You shall love Adonai, your God. Bind them for a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, that you will remember, do all my commandments, and be holy unto your God. You shall love Adonai. You shall love Adonai. You shall love Adonai, your God.
We continue on page 32. Truth and faith. These are fundamental to our existence. God alone is their source, and we are Israel, a people of God. Our sovereign saves us from tyranny, redeems us from its violence through countless wonders, from its brutality through great feats beyond measure. We are Israel, a people of God, the giver of life, who would not let our feet give way, the maker of miracles for us against Pharaoh, of signs and portents in the land of Egypt, the one who brought our people Israel from its mist to enduring freedom. Witnesses to this heroic might, the people thanked and praised God by name, freely accepting the reign of heaven. Then Moses and Miriam and all Israel sang to you this song of utter joy.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh fele, mahutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov ug'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch u'Baruch Shemo, Ga'al Yisrael.
Page 36. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in our lives. Be our shield. Make us stronger than the enemies we face: illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings. For you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life. Watch over us, that we may come home in peace, now until the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed One, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom, over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Please take a moment now for your own silent prayers and reflections.
Elohai nitzor lishonim mera, usfatai mitaber mirma. Velim kalalai nafshi tidom, v'nafshi ka'afar lakoti Elohai. Elohai. Elohai nitzor lishonim mera, usfatai mitaber mirma. Velim kalalai nafshi tidom, v'nafshi ka'afar lakoti Elohai. Elohai. Elohai nitzor lishonim mera, usatai mitaber mirma. Velim kalalai nafshi tidom, v'nafshi ka'afar lakoti Elohai. Elohai. P'tach libi.
כעפר הכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי, אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע, ושפתיים מדבר מרמה, אלים כללי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר הכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי. יהיו לרצון רפי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, 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 צורי, אדוני, צורי,
We take time now in our service to think of those in need of healing on this Shabbat and on this Erev Rosh HaShanah, those in need of healing of body, of spirit, and of heart. And we ask God to bestow the blessing of Refuah Shlema, full and complete healing, on the following men and women from our community or known and loved by those in our community. Rosie Rosenthal, Sherry Levson, Elizabeth Mautner, Michelle Kamisia, Harris Nussbaum, Lynn Mikulski, Ahuva Ben David, Ilana Massey, Helen Goodman, Ralph Garber, Debbie Blythe, Lauren Kudley, Barbara Balick, Kevin Brackett, Marty Spitz, Sherry Kohos, and Ginny Sims. And we take a moment to add any other names of those you wish to share. We continue now with the Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue on page 77 with Avinu Malkeanu. Avinu Malkeanu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and of love.
Avinu Avinu Malkeanu, Chanenu Vanenu, Ki ein banu masi. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed, v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeanu, Avinu Malkeanu, Avinu Malkeanu, Chanenu Vanenu, Ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed, v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeanu, Chanenu Vanenu. Avinu Malkeanu, Chanenu Vanenu, Ki ein banu masim.
Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova U'Mituka. A happy, sweet, and healthy new year to each and every one of you. Whether you are here in Napa or watching this Erev Rosh Hashanah service from somewhere on the other side of the country or the other side of the world. These are very unusual and challenging times. But the silver lining of a virtual High Holy Days experience is that we can gather together in community in ways that weren't possible before the pandemic. This is not only a unique moment in human history, it is also a very anxious one. If worries about COVID-19, the loneliness of social distancing, racial and social unrest, a crippled economy, widespread unemployment, and the tedium and frustration of remote work and learning weren't bad enough, we've also had to contend this year with wildfires, rolling power blackouts, and the polarization and uncertainty related to the presidential election on November 3rd. The issue of leadership is on the minds of most of us these days. Who can best guide us through this pandemic? Who can restore our jobs and our economy? Who can unite our deeply divided nation? Rather than focusing on any specific policy stance, the Jewish tradition suggests that what is ultimately the most important calculus in choosing a leader is an individual's ability to lead. From its biblical origins, Judaism has always maintained a certain distrust of human leaders. From the Torah to the Talmud, our tradition has recognized that there is a direct correlation between high office and the likelihood of abusing the power of that office. As a result, limits and restrictions were placed on those who held positions of authority, from kings and judges to rabbis and philanthropists. Judaism understood that power is a dangerous allure, that to lead effectively, one must avoid getting trapped by its temptations. A genuine leader will possess the character and ability to resist the seductions of prominence and sycophantic praise. A true leader will embrace the opportunity and the gift of sharing power with others. The Jewish community has always sought to protect against leadership abuses by insisting that power be shared, not hoarded. Over the centuries, Jewish communities have been governed by a system of checks and balances, where religious, political, and business leaders have shared responsibility for the welfare of others. When a singular individual arises and claims to have all the answers, who insists on amassing and consolidating power, he or she is viewed with suspicion and even disdain. Far from glorifying the model of a charismatic leader who addresses problems unilaterally, Judaism recognizes the slippery and dangerous slope toward despotism. Classical Judaism suggests that successful leaders function not as rulers, but as servants. Leadership isn't about how tough you are, about being the alpha, dominant and overbearing. It is about serving the needs of the community. The Talmud states, quote, "One who is appointed over a community becomes the servant of the community." A true leader doesn't try to impose his will on others or coerce them to do his bidding. An authentic leader isn't focused on ego or personal gain, but on serving the needs of their followers by empowering them, motivating them, improving their lives, while also developing the ability to lead in others. That is why, ever since Moses transferred the mantle of leadership to Joshua before he died, Judaism has taught that effective leadership must include the identification, preparation, and training of the next generation. Ledor vador, from generation to generation. Another attribute of authentic, successful leadership is humility. While many of our so-called leaders today think that by projecting an image of self-assurance, bravado, and certainty they will be seen as strong, the truth is actually the opposite. They are weak, insecure, and uncomfortable with their humanity. Humility, the recognition of one's limitations, regardless of position, is a natural consequence of Judaism's worldview that only God has absolute authority, that human leaders, however powerful, can never be above the law. Maimonides claims that it is only when a king is able, quote, to cultivate a humble and lowly spirit and deal graciously and compassionately with the small and the great, that his leadership would be successful. Humility is a mark of strength, not weakness, as it did with Moses, whom the rabbis thought was not only the most effective of all leaders, but also the most self-effacing. Humility is the quality that generates and drives vision, tenacity, and decisiveness. The Hebrew word for leadership is manhigut. It derives from the root of the word for behavior. In Jewish thought, leadership is not about position or resume. It is about behavior and action, and the moral character that serves as their anchor and animating force. As we face the election of our own national leader, let's remember that it is ability, not policy or personality, that should ultimately guide this critically important decision. Does the candidate think of himself as a servant of the people, or is he an egocentric ruler focused on attention and personal gain? Does the candidate understand that power must be restrained and shared, lest it be abused? And does the candidate possess humility and maturity, the ability to empower others, train successors, and accept responsibility for his own shortcomings? While each and every one of us will have to answer these questions for him or herself, our tradition offers us a clear set of guidelines to help us with our decision. May we choose wisely and well on November 3rd. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. And we continue now on page 79 as we usher in with joy this new Jewish year with the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachabanu mikol am, v'romamanu mikol lashon, v'kidshanu b'mitzvotav. V'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava, et yom haShabbat ve'et hazikaron hazeh teruah, mikra kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol hamim, udechar v'emet v'kayam lad. Baruch atah Adonai melech hakol haaretz mekadesh Yisrael, melech hakol haaretz mekadesh Yisrael, melech al kol haaretz, mekadesh haShabbat Yisrael, v'yom hazikaron. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu v'kiyemanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
We continue on page 82 with the Avinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. V'ne'eman v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo
As we reach the end of our service, we think of those who are no longer with us, those who have died both recently and in seasons past. The light of life is a finite flame. Like our sacred candles, life is kindled. It burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory, slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. We remember those from our community or those men and women known and loved by those in our community who have died during this preceding year. Gail Feingold, Alan Meluso, Stan Footlick, Kathy Weeder, Felice Hauser, Aubrey Farb, Marvin Pesses, Eileen Herman, Gil Egeland, Alan Steen, Terry Clapp, Marilyn Armstrong, Don Hogenkamp, John Hagan, Bill Chiat, Jane Goldstrom, Davida Safer, Arlene Cooperson, and Peter DePasqua. We also remember and honor the yahrzeits of Gregory Allen, Morris Altman, W.F. Buckner, Eliyahu Davidian, Ruth Grunstein Fanta, Gail Vida Feingold, Seymour Matz, Fred Novus, Max Rubin, Beatrice Samrick, Mabel Schweitzer, Norman Somich, and Max Weinstein. And if there is a loved one you wish to recognize at this moment, I invite you to please do so now. We continue with the Mourner's Kaddish on page 90. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam ulamei maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu, le'ela ule'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shmaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. May the source of peace grant peace to all those in mourning and comfort to all those who are bereaved. And let us all say, Amen. And we are going to conclude tonight's Shabbat and Erev Rosh Hashanah service with our final song.
God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, asuli mikdash v'shahanti b'tocham va'anachnu nevarech Yah me'ata v'ad olam. God prepare me. God prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and in thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you, and in thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Thank you, Gordon. I think we could all use a little sanctuary after the year that we've had and in the year that we're still in, a safe place and a sense of community, and that's what Gordon and I are really going to try to create for you during these days of awe. Just a few words about tomorrow. At 9:30 a.m. is going to be our family Rosh Hashanah service, and then at 10:30 a.m. will be our general service. So please follow the instructions and links that have been sent out to you previously, and we look forward to celebrating this sweet and happy new year with all of you. I just want to thank a few people tonight. First of all, our music director, Gordon. I cannot do this without you, so thank you yet again for your voice and your spirit.
Sure, it was nice being 6 feet away.
And energy, socially distanced Rosh Hashanah. I also want to thank our ritual committee, chaired by Howard Eisenstark, as well as our board and our president, Mark Samrick, for supporting and guiding us and helping us to make some really difficult decisions this year. It really does take a village and a congregation. So thank you to everyone and to our congregation. Thank you, everyone at CBS, for being so supportive of us during this really challenging time when we're obviously not able to meet in person, but where we're really just doing our very best. So we're going to conclude with the motzi and the eating of challah and apples and honey.
Yeah, before we do that, I just want to say while Gary Markovich is standing right
Oh,
there
yeah.
behind 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cameras, talk about you couldn't do it without me. We couldn't have done it without him. So I just want to say while Gary is actually standing here, recording, taping this entire thing, thanks, Gary Markovich. And he's, I think, available for hire between classes at Silverado. So.
Shabbat Shalom and a Shana Tova, a sweet and happy and healthy new year to everyone, from Carolyn and from myself. In keeping with one of the very well-known customs of Rosh Hashanah, we have some apples and honey, reminiscent of a sweet new year. And we also have the challah that we're going to say a blessing over. So if you have any challah at home, now would be a good time to take it out. And we invite you to join us in saying the motzi. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shana Tova, Happy New Year, everybody. See you soon.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.